Hi everyone, I'm Gary Watson. Well, we have many visitors coming into Nelson. Today I'd like to welcome Richard Miller. He's from the United States. Welcome along.
Hey Gary, thanks so much. I'm from Chicago, the big town. I missed the whole winter. I've been in Australia for 3 months. You asked me why I came to Nelson, I had a love affair in Australia and I wanted to get back there because I got a 1-year visa that has 90-day stays. And I was using New Zealand as a strategy to go back to Australia. Then I thought, are you crazy or what? New Zealand's probably way better than Australia. Just stay there for 3 months or at least as long as you can. And so here I am.
What sort of things are you doing here?
I'm a video man. I got a little media company. It's just public television. It's just, what do you call it, cable. So it's private and all that. It's non-commercial. I can't even put a commercial on there, much less make any money out of it. And I'm just sharing videos. And it turned out in 5 years that I've just kind of got this momentum going. And I've got a website where a lot of people come to. It's called Never Not Here, nevernothere.com. And so then I've got a kind of a world reach in English language, and I talk to spiritual teachers. That's how I started, is speaking with spiritual teachers.
So what sort of things do you do? Is this lifestyle, or is this healthy eating? What is it?
I want to break it open because so much, what is spiritualism in this world? It's something that's very impractical, and most of us really don't give a hoot about. We've got our own religion and stuff like that. We go on Sunday and do what we can to live a better life, right? But it's not practical. It doesn't seem like we have this thing called everyday life, and I can go meditate, but how does that connect? And I want to connect the dots. I want to see where the rubber meets the road. I want to see where a good attitude really helps your life. And it's got to help your life in eating. It's got to help your life in your thoughts, because your thoughts are more toxic than your foods, really, most of the times. And what's going to really change your life? And so then I don't have to know because I'm just the interviewer. I'm just a journalist. And so then I just go out and talk to people, right? And it's kind of like a comedian and the straight man, right? The comedian and the straight man just ask dumb questions. And so then I can be so honest. Because
it's like kids, isn't it?
I'm dumb. I'm just playing at it,
Yep. It's like kids, isn't it? They can ask perfectly innocent, logical questions, but if an adult did, it would be very offensive.
Yeah, I offend enough people, I was at actually a Native American ceremony in New Zealand. It was so fantastic, a 4-day dance called Sun Dance. It's from the Lakota Sioux. And I was kind of like taking the songs, and I recorded a song, and they thought I shouldn't have done it. And they started calling me the coyote, like I was the guy that's sneaking around there. But I stirred up a lot of stuff and made them renew their discussion about what their purposes, what their objectives were, and I shared it for a while. They made me take it down. Darn it, I'd love to give you that link of Sundance, but that was such a powerful feeling. We're such mental creatures, and I'm just learning to connect the dots and, find out what a woman is and find out what feeling is and find out, because in feeling is where we're connected, right? In our mind is where we're separate. And so then we can just judge the world and weigh it. How much separate is it and how much connected is it? And that's what I'm learning,
I think you're in trouble if you haven't figured out what women are all about by now.
Oh my God, let's just say that we can figure it out every day, right?
Yep.
We can figure it out every day anew, right?
I like the fact that a woman always has the last say in an argument, because anything a man says is the beginning of a new one.
All right. Yeah, they got us trained, don't they?
Yep. Okay, so you're promoting healthy lifestyle. So that is what, food, exercise, all of those sort of things?
Well, mostly it's like mental fitness, right? Because what drives us in a whole is like our attitudes, which is our mind, right? Our belief structures. And how do we see our belief structures? Because we don't even think they're beliefs. We just think that's the way it is, right? And we inherited that maybe from our parents, and they inherited it from their parents. And then we all lived in a certain city and had certain, I think I even heard that in New Zealand, some cities are kind of like hard and like they have a hard attitude way down in the cold, I suppose, And then others are kind of more upbeat, like Golden Bay and stuff, where they're all, I don't know, I haven't even gone there.
Well, there's not really the difference throughout New Zealand. If we look at parts of the States, the people in Boston are different to the people down in Alabama.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And there is a marked difference. Whereas throughout New Zealand, yes, some of the bigger areas like Auckland and Wellington have a slightly different culture to rural New Zealand. but then that applies the same in the United States, doesn't it? If you're in Jackson
definitely.
Hole, you know, compared to
Yeah.
New York City, it's a kind of a different pace of life, isn't
Absolutely, right. I was lucky enough in the States to have lived in kind of like both atmospheres, because so long I was in the flatland Chicago and in, you know, racing around everywhere, and then I moved to Salt Lake City, which was like up in the mountains, and I kind of had an opening. I actually lived in Italy for 12 years also, so then I'm a semi-European.
So would you be on a par with Howard Stern in terms of being controversial?
See, I'm not looking for controversy to stimulate interest, because I have nothing to sell, right? I'm not getting any money. So if more people come, you know, I just offer what's kind of working for me or what makes sense to me. And okay, I was in Australia for 90 days. I probably did 90 videos, you know. I didn't get all, I got almost 80 uploaded onto YouTube. Everything's on YouTube, so everything's free. So, but I don't go to controversial just to kind of like mix it up and draw interest, you know.
But often media does. Often media will
does
find an angle to help sell either newspapers or create ratings.
Yeah, create ratings. Now, we're not doing that. See, I feel like that's not something that you're doing or that we're doing right now. We're not making any kind of controversy, or we're not trying to say, oh, you know, this guy is...
Well, all this is about is we end up with a lot of folks that come into Nelson with different stories, visitors, and they've got a different interest that they've brought in here, which is why we, from time to time, open up and we do an interview. And it's really to find out a little bit about what you do, what brings you to Nelson, so on.
Well, I've kind of cut my life loose, and I'm trying to prove that, you know, you too can cut your life loose, you know, within the context of your job and your family. You know, cut your life loose means that you can start to free yourself of your own ideas and be available to participate more. And
so you're talking about trying to lower people's stress?
Definitely lower stress, you know. Definitely that's a part of it, because I used to think stress was the greatest thing in the world, you know. And we all make excuses like, what is stress doing to us? But really, it's just killing you. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, sugar and stress.
Sugar and stress, you're right.
Now, you're advocating healthy eating. What sort of things do you see as healthy foods?
Well, I mean, I think animal protein is really, really overrated. And animal protein is probably, you know, I've been studying some health things just by reading, right? And that excess protein, they're saying there's protein in the brain that actually causes dementia and Alzheimer's. They're saying it's protein in the blood vessels that cause hardening of the arteries and heart disease, you know. And so it's too much animal. We're always saying, oh, I'm not getting enough protein. Oh, I'm famished. You know. Oh, I'm feeling weak. You know. But I'm not so sure that's the case.
Well, the other thing is there's no fiber in anything from an animal.
So then we got digestion problems, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you know, the body, when it is digesting food like meat and particularly pork, has a struggle because the composition of pork is very close to the human body. So as it's getting through the lower part of our bowels, it's rotting.
Yeah.
So the body's trying to break down something which is similar to its own composition, isn't it?
Carnivore, is that, maybe that's Italian, I'm not so sure, but carnivorous, okay? You know, those guys have real short intestines. Meat is made to go in and out, right?
Yep.
But we have real long ones. And so then our meat is not doing very good when it gets down to the bottom, right? It should be already out. So I don't think we're designed for it.
Well, some argue it shouldn't have gone in the first place.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. We're not designed for that. But anyhow, what I'm saying about cut your life loose, okay, like let's say I'm just available within a couple of days' notice to say yes to something. For instance, somebody took me to this conference, what's this gal's name? Nicole Foss was in town, right? And she's talking about world economic crisis. And I went there Friday night. And so I zipped right up there after the talk and I said, oh, I'm TV, blah, blah, blah. Can I interview you? Saturday, I was up at Ruby Bay in the home where she was staying and setting up my cameras. And I got a beautiful interview out of her in probably 20 hours, you know, from, before that I didn't even know her, you know, and I thought I could share that, right? Then I went to some other kind of a talk where some of us were talking about what to do to get together to promote some kind of new lifestyles and so on. And a lady that has started One Smile magazine, Katrin Jackstees, and she was doing a talk and or like an intensive yesterday. And so then I told her, I offered to film it. And so I filmed 3 sessions of an intensive about a process that she has, a healing process.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fantastic. I already got one of them up on the web.
Okay.
And these things just happen like overnight, like I never met this person. I didn't plan 6 months ahead. I don't have I'm not booked for, if somebody calls me, I'm ready to go in a way. Okay. And I don't even know where I'm going to go really tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I have some benchmarks I know, and I know that my visa's up on June 3rd, so then some benchmarks in my life, but I try to be just cut loose and okay. available.
What do you see for our future?
What, the future of the world or the
yeah.
future of me, Richard Miller?
Well, the future of the world, as you see it.
We got to get together. And we got to realize that we got to get together, And then we got to start now. So start now means like we're not going to heal the world. We're just going to heal our family. We're going to heal our spouse. We're going to heal our kids, We're going to heal our relationships
But how are we going
at
to
our
do
job,
that? How are we going to do all that?
Well, we have to have the intention first, right? The intention to do it, and the willingness to kind of face up to it and face those things that we say, oh no,
but
no
people
more of that.
may already have that, and they're actually looking for some direction of how they're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't do it for anyone, right? It's going to be, you could call it inquiry, because you have to inquire into your own life and look at what's happening and inquire and see it in a deeper way than you saw it yesterday.
But it's like saying we're going to go on a holiday and someone says, well, whereabouts are you going? And you say, well, I don't know. Well, you ain't going on a holiday, are you, if you don't know where you're going?
Yeah. Well, you might just head to one city and then say, where should we go from this one?
Yes, but you've got to make that initial decision of what you're going to do,
yeah.
which city you're going to start at. And you might say, all right, well, I'm going to go to Wellington and I'm just going to follow my nose from there. Well, fine, but you've made that decision. So you've initiated action.
You touch on a really key point, Gary, because like you can get all the greatest ideas, but if you don't take an action, some small action, and out of one small action comes another small action. If you don't take an action and say, well, I'm just going to wait until God takes the action or till Jesus opens the door, or somehow you got to move it, and then, I don't know, it has to start small, I suppose.
But you can sit there from a religious perspective and you can pray and you can plan and do whatever you like. But you as an individual has to take that first step forward and actually initiate something.
I totally agree.
Can't
you
lock
have to
yourself in a
somehow
cupboard.
feel it. Like some of us are more action prone, right? There might be 3 kind of people. Some are just taking action all the time and they're not even thinking what they're doing. Some are only thinking about stuff and never do anything. And some are only feeling things and they're going up and down, feeling good and feeling bad, feeling good and feeling bad. But somehow a life that's going to work for all of us is going to have those three things match, or balanced, let's say. Because if you can feel people, if I can feel you, then I can't mistreat you, right? And so then my thoughts are going to be better and my actions are going to be truer, right?
Right. One of the things that I notice in the States is you make heroes out of not just your sports people, but some of your successful business people, your singers, your performers, artists, all sorts of those people. Here in New Zealand, we only tend to make heroes out of our sports people, which kind of sends the wrong message to some of our younger people coming through, that it's only important to be good at sports and one or two other things, and that becoming good at business and creating good jobs and providing for your future family sort of seems to fall by the wayside a little bit. Do you notice that kind of difference having arrived here?
In a way, we're always looking outside, right? And so we need a hero, right? I actually did interview maybe 4 or 5 filmmakers, and I asked them, what kind of story can you tell? And they always say it's the hero's journey, right? And then the hero's got to have a lot of obstacles, so it has to be conflict-based, right? Every story is conflict-based that has any interest, or at least enough interest to get a financing team behind it, And I don't know whether those things are not obsolete. Because, okay, we're talking about a hero in business, a hero in, let's just say a role model, right? Because I want to say you're the hero. You are a hero, right? To everybody.
Yep.
And stop looking outside and trying to match your life up to somebody, but just trust yourself that you are in the right place, that you are in the place you are, whether it's right or wrong. Forget that part. Just say you are where you are, and from there you can move. And so then just take a step with confidence and trust that somehow you made it this far, you'll make it the next step. And don't try to say, well, I'm not as good as that person, I can't sing like that person, I'm not going to sing, I can't do sports like that person, so I'm not going to do sports. Everything is like convincing you to say, no, I can't, you know. And what's going to convince you to say, yes, I can, right? Because we said you have to take action and you have to take that first step, right? Mm-hmm. And so then that's going to be, even if it's tiny, it's going to be some kind of a yes, right?
Well, we're running out of time. Richard, enjoy your stay here in Nelson. Thanks for taking time to come
Gary,
see us.
you're a dream. Thanks so much for...
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Yep. And may you enjoy your stay in Nelson.
Anybody can follow me at nevernothere.com because I leave a big wake of videos.
Right.
And so then, beautiful.
Well, there we go. And there was an ad break in there as well. That was Richard Miller, and he's a journalist, producer from a cable television station in Chicago.